In the following video, you will see some megalithic burial sites from the megalithic age in a place called Pandavar Kudi. Pandavar refers to the Pancha Pandavas in Mahabharata, and when I spoke to the locals, they said that they believe these burial sites were the places where Pandavas lived during their time in exile. But actually, this Pandavar Kudi is a mutation of the word Pandayar Kudi. Pandai in Tamil means old or early. Pandai means something that is ancient. So these are burial sites. Pandai Kudi has become Pandavar Kudi because people like to believe in magic and they believed that Pandavas lived in holes under the ground. But these are actually megalithic burial sites that are dated at least 2500 years ago from today. 2300 to 2500 years ago. And it was a nice experience. I was a little bit disheartened to see that there is not much care given to these sites. It could have been better, but at least it was found and dated and all that. But anyway, here it is. See for yourself. Thank you.
கிழக்கு மேற்குலாம் படுக்கிறது பெஸ்ட்டும்பா. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4 chambers, right?
No, man.
That also seems to be a chamber.
ரெண்டு opposite chamber.
ஆமா. அது ஒரு மெயின் சேம்பரை ரெண்டா சப்டிவைட் பண்ணிருக்கா. It has been subdivided into 2 chambers. And then see here, you can see those. Here's another remnant of that rock wall. Right? And God knows how many of these stones were taken up for construction and all that. So this site is almost minimum 2500 years old, and it just lies on the side of the road. No one seems to really care to preserve this. They say that people lived here even before the birth of the Tamil script. I am sure there would have been a Proto-Tamil language when people lived here. But this is a nadigal, or just a tombstone. You can call it a tombstone. And there is the sarcophagus. That is the grave. And that grave is been subdivided into 2 chambers, one main chamber and a sub-chamber for offering, and then there are 2 other chambers, one on either side. And as I understand, it is used for giving offerings to the dead people. Obviously this person would have been a very important person, or else people would not have gone through the trouble of cutting such large stones and creating a cemetery for him like this. And it used to have 2 walls, one outer wall made of standing stones like that, and then an inner wall with boulders, just to mark this place and let the others know that there is something important underneath. It's really sad to see that this place is just abandoned like this. See another massive site full of these burial chambers. I can see one over there, over here, one over here, one over there, few over here, over there, and it is right on the shores of a river. It's a river bank. So in our tradition, we still have our crematoriums on river banks. So here you can see one of those slab stones. The way it was done was a ring of round stones and an outer circumference of slab stones. These were really important people, or else people would not have taken so much efforts to create such a grand grave for them. It's not easy to cut these stones. Sad is in such a historic site. I mean, it's not even historic, it is prehistoric. You see dumping of building rubbish and all that. If this were in any other country, they would have turned it into a national monument and started collecting fees for people to visit. But sadly, it is what it is. No one really cares. See, here you see another grave. You can identify it by the round stones, and I'm sure if you dig you will find chambers here. There is another grave over there. Can you see that? See, it's even marked by the archaeological department or whoever did the research as number 4. So this is a well that was dug by the farmer who was farming this land, not in prehistoric times but recently. But it is right in the middle of another grave site. There is another grave site here. There is another grave site over there. See, another thing I see is they removed the mud from here, whoever did the excavation, and they just left it as it is. So now this wall has collapsed. The wall of this sarcophagus has collapsed. So they dug it up and then just left it to its own devices. And pretty soon, in another 10-15 years, this whole thing will collapse. Even this does not have any material to support it, sir. Maybe they could have filled it up with something, right? To support the wall. Anyway, it is what it is. At least I got to see it before it all went to dust. So 2500 years ago, people lived here and died here, right on the banks of Moewqmn, which is there. And it was before the language Tamil had an official script. I'm sure they would have spoken some form of Tamil at this time. அதே நிலைமை தான் பாட்டி, எனக்கும் அதே நிலைமை தான். எல்லாரும் அந்த ரூட்ல தான் வந்தாகணும். ரொம்ப நன்றி பாட்டி, ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது. என்ன பாட்டி, நன்றி அம்மா.
ஒன்று கூட போகுது.
So this lady was kind enough to just give us some food. She gave us fruits and then she gave us all these other things to take. She is totally unknown to us. Such immense kindness. Again, in some other place, we can see lots of these tombs. There you can see a round structure there, in the far background, underneath that tree. That also seems to be a grave site. So it looks like, see here also they've marked it with 103. So see, can you see this semicircle right here? This semicircle. So I'm sure that there is a tomb underneath here. This is marked 102.